Hey, how are you? Just a minute, let me get is that your city engineer? If we can have him at the same Just a minute. Some confusion here as the police prevent some people from getting their goods at the back of the.
He was just trying to get efficient. They said enough to promote and single.
So this is the scene right now at the back of Stabroek Market Wharf. This is the Demerara River. This is at the back of the Stabroek Market. It's a popular place. It's where fishermen sometimes come to park their boats. The speedboats are also parked here. The wharf has been in a dilapidated condition for a number of years. However, it was still occupied as in vendors store their goods here. And there were people who would be here on a daily basis using this facility.
Excuse me, baby.
One of the injured people. No, they got a nail there. Don't let them duck on though. Sorry.
I didn't even see it.
Where are you hurt? Your back?
Y'all excuse me. Y'all excuse me. Y'all excuse me. Y'all excuse me.
There you see it, one of the injured persons. He has some blood at the back of his neck. He is also limping, you can say. He has some pain in his back. And that's just one of the injured persons I've seen here. Fire officers here. The police now trying to take control of the situation, asking people to not crowd the passage. In fact, there are some stalls right up to where the entrance of one of the entrances to this wharf used to be.
I got it. No, I get
it. City Mayor Alfred Mentor making his way on the scene. Minister Deodatindar along with Minister Sonia Parag are also here observing.
We'll have a closer look at the situation.
Fireman, watch. Chaki ko lang. What's this thing in head view? So actually, yellow.
I'm aware. Thank you. So this is the scene right now with the wharf that collapsed at Stabroek Market. There's several persons, fire service, police, city constab, City Mayor Alfred Mentor, along with. I heard you the first time, so I will follow your order. I heard you the first time. Ministers Indar and Sonia Parag are also here, and this is the scene.
Pass.
Thank you very much.
All right. The others kindly join her for me.
If you got me,
Be careful,
wait
be careful. Why both of our wait?
I sure me.
I am not as here. Oh, come on. We gotta take it up on a scale to
Thank you,
know
Mr.
who's living
Gamer. The officers are clearly looking out for me today.
No, I'm offering her art.
The police is trying to ensure that there's some order here. Of course, a lot of this is very risky.
All right, if you're now tuning in, this is a live scene at the Stabroek Market area. The wharf collapsed. Now, let's not rush right into the blame game, but all of you who are watching this live event right now at Stabroek Market, the wharf collapsed. All of you, every single one of you knew that this was just a tragedy waiting to happen. It was right there. It was glaring in our eyes, right in front of our eyes. So almost all of you who are familiar with this area would say, we are not surprised. At this point in time, we want to be able to see the medics. We want the ambulances to be there. Those are the persons. We need to see the fire service guys out there as well in their numbers. We cannot have a situation like this, a collapsed building, and we have officials who are running towards the building, who are going towards the building, to make it appear that they're also concerned. They're rushing there to do something. Oh my gosh, look at what happened. Now, I'm not going to dramatize this here, but it's reality. All of them are rushing there. Yes, Rochelle Johnson, we got to pray. We don't know how many folks have been hurt. We don't know if anybody badly injured. We don't know. We need to see the medic people out there. 5, 6 ambulances should have already been there. Rescue team should have been there. We need those big policemen with guns to go there. Just like they go and intimidate people, let them go and secure the area so that folks cannot rush to the area right now. Instead, the people who should be rushing there are rescue team members to rescue those who have been injured. We cannot have a man. You saw just a couple of minutes ago, a youngster that was, injured. But then there's no ambulance. There's nothing. He's walking off just like that. There's nobody to put him on a stretcher. There's nobody to rush him to an ambulance or nothing like that. But look, everybody's rushing there. Just wait now. Wait for the blame game. Oh, this one. Oh, that one. Oh, this one. Oh, that one. This place, apart from we hearing the officials, them saying, oh, it was condemned. Right, Eric Williams? Oh, it was condemned. It was condemned. And what happened? To say that it was condemned on papers or talk that it was condemned and did nothing. Look, Robeson Ben walking up there now. Well, y'all know what's going through my mind, right? Sorry. Robeson Ben walking up there. Let him walk towards. Let him go. All of them are going to rush there now because the lights, cameras, and action. And then when the camera's on them, oh, we told City Hall that, and we have money for this to be done. And then City Hall is going to say central government. And then central government is going to say this. And that is what's going to happen. The blame game is on. Let's go back on the ground so that you guys can hear what's happening. This is really not nice. And I'm waiting for the blame game. I know who have to be blamed. It's a bunch of them. Not only central government, not only those pakus in the PPP government, but they got some pakus at City Hall as well. But we'll wait. Let's hear what's happening.
That's a meeting postponed. Meeting.
This is one of the dilapidated structures at the back of the Stabroek market. We're just awaiting confirmation of a couple of details. So far, I've only seen one injured person emerge, and that person has been taken for assistance. We're waiting to see who else we can talk to. Vendors with stalls close to the market.
Yes.
How are you doing?
Good.
Any confirmation of anybody being seriously injured?
No, I was told that 3 persons were injured. Nothing serious.
Thank you. That's Councillor Saul there talking to us. This is still the scene. Some vendors are trying to remove their stalls that are close to the market. In fact, the lady right here sells fruits. She has removed her stocks. The Demerara River is a heavily trafficked river. It's our main port into the city of Georgetown. There are lots of boats, commercial vessels, goods vessels that actually come and offload at many of the wharfs along the Demerara River, especially close to this market. This market had its own wharf, which is this wharf, which was called the Stabroek Wharf. However, it's been in a dilapidated condition for many years, and you can say it.
Yep, we've lost our connections here on the ground, but this is a live event out at Stabroek Market. The wharf collapsed. The wharf collapsed moments ago, and officials who have ignored the wharf, officials in central government, officials in the highest level of government, they have ignored the wharf, ignored the people. They're borrowing money for all sorts of things. And this area was even ignored by some officials at City Hall as well. I've noticed Egerton, David Morning Egerton, is saying that the council has been asking for the money a long time now to fix the wharf, asking and so forth. But they have a city engineer who's all over the place doing all manner of things and helping the central government fix hotel, Qatari hotel, and all these things they're concentrating on. But nobody is concentrating on what's happening at the wharf and the fact that this was just a disaster waiting to happen. So all of them have to accept responsibility for this. All of them. But they're going to start the blame game, pointing fingers at each other. All of them have to accept responsibility. I've noticed, I've heard Councillor Saul said that only 3 persons, thus far he has been told that 3 persons have been injured. And I must commend these councillors who are new. So I'm not blaming some of these new councillors that I'm not doing that at all, but I'm glad to see Councillor Saul there on the ground. However, this area, it is impossible that with that magnitude, the collapse, it is impossible that only In that large area, it is only 3 persons that have been injured. I'm not saying that Councillor Saul has said it's 3 persons, that's it. A lot of folks go around that area. They get vagrants who would go there and they would sleep. They get fishermen. Now, the question should be asked. They got the vessels passing close by there. It was just waiting to happen, yes, but was it more? Did a vessel hit one of those beams that caused the collapse? And if so, well, there should be an investigation. There ought to be an investigation. But those at City Hall, they shouldn't run away with accepting blame. They should not at all run away from that. So let's head back and let's hear what's happening, if we get our volume back up with us. Yeah, we're still trying to get the volume. It's not at our end, guys. So please do forgive us. We're trying our best to see how we can get at least some volume to hear what's happening. Because, like I've said, I'm sure some of the officials are going to rush because the cameras are out there in full. And as you know, a lot of those officials just love the cameras. Lights, cameras, action, and then they disappear after that. Yep, so we've lost coverage there. Sorry about that. We have lost coverage. Let me just read some of your comments and get your thoughts as to what's happening. Um, Robin Morgan is saying here at the back, there is always a disaster waiting to happen. That is so true. At the back, just waiting, a disaster waiting to happen. And this was just there. It was an eyesore. And here is where I have a problem with some of these guys who have been selected or elected to represent the people. They've got to do their job. You cannot just say, "Oh, the council was just waiting for central government to fix it." Sitting and waiting. There should be protest. Vendors should have been out there because their lives are at risk. We're seeing it right now. You know how many people could have been badly injured and possibly worse than that? Right there, we don't know the amount of folks that were injured. We don't know how many vagrants were there who made it their homes and so forth. We don't know that. And so we just cannot conclude and say it's 3 persons injured and that's it. No. Again, I'm not saying that's what Councillor Saul is admitting to, but he said thus far. The operative words are thus far. So watch out, guys, for the blame game. Watch out for the blame game. In case you are now joining us, the Stabroek Market Wharf collapsed moments ago. Persons were injured. I can't say how many persons were injured. I don't know how many persons, whether they're badly injured or not. I don't know. But what we can say is that the wharf collapsed, and majority of you who know where this wharf is located, and it has been in the news for a while. Yes, we blame those at central government. We blame those at the local government ministry. We blame Irfan Ali, but also there are some of those folks at City Hall who have to accept, responsibility, because most of them sat there and just basically do not do proper representation of the city and the people of Georgetown. If this has been an eyesore for a while, and we all know that, then what sort of pressure came from City Hall? What sort of pressure? Well, Georgetown is already jumping the gun. George is saying injured persons should be compensated. All right, but if I'm a defense lawyer in the case, I will argue that the area was restricted and they were advised and there were signs saying do not enter. So all manner of things. If this regime do not compensate people who were killed, relatives of those who were killed extrajudicially, if they did not compensate the people of Corriverton Market or Skeldon Market that had that fire, we have seen numerous cases where they do not compensate people, unless, of course, if you're selling Pulori. If you're selling Pulori, you will be compensated, and handsomely too. That is what we're going to see. And so the PBP weren't concerned, Jack Dale and Irfan, they weren't concerned about the markets and so forth. As far as they're concerned, as those people, those people don't mean anything to Jack Dale and Irfan them. They don't. And let us talk now about the city engineer who is responsible for these things. But every time the PBP click the finger, they have a reggae song that called click your finger. Click my finger, them a roll with me. Some of you younger folks would know it. I don't expect Akila Ash to know those sort. Click my finger, roll with me. All right, that's it. That's the city engineer. They click the finger, boom, and he rushes to the PPP's rescue. He doesn't rush to represent the people of Georgetown. He doesn't. The city engineer doesn't represent the interest of the people of Georgetown. He represents the interest of those Pakus in the PPP regime. So as soon as they click the finger, he's ready to jump. And then again, you have a mayor of Georgetown who doesn't advocate on behalf of the residents, on behalf of Georgetownians, if we want to say. They do not represent. They sit there. The vendors go through all sort of things, but no proper representation coming out from the leadership of the Georgetown City Council. But not so long ago, the very mayor and other senior ones at City Hall there in Georgetown wrote a letter to the commission, the local government commission, asking for another, I think it's the building inspector, to be fired. So you call for the building inspector to be fired, possibly no grounds, but you're not calling for the city engineer to be fired. You're not removing the city engineer. You're not doing that. And the question is always, why? Why aren't you doing that? Nobody's going to answer that. Some people who don't like these Pakus in the PPP are just going to portion the blame and say, oh, well, city council has been after the government for money to fix it. Yeah, fair enough. The government wants to starve. They want to punish the people of Georgetown. We know that, and we know why. But you have a mayor, you have a deputy mayor, and you have councillors who are there to represent, stand up, and show strong representation on behalf of the people of Georgetown. Are we seeing that? Let's be honest, all of you, every single one of you, are we seeing that sort of aggressive leadership and advocacy on behalf of the people of Georgetown by this current council? The answer is no. We've got to be honest, guys. Now, I was going to say, turn to your neighbors and say, turn to your neighbor and say, we've got to be honest. But then again, I'm not in church. But turn to your friend right there in the comment section and say, we've got to be honest. Turn to your neighbor and say, we've got to be honest. In whose interest are those folks at City Hall? In whose interest are they representing? Are they representing your interest? The vendors, you know how many vendors are crying out? That is nobody there to represent them. Every day, border market vendors. Every day, Stabroek market vendors. Nobody cares about them. Absolutely no one. There might be one or two, don't get me wrong. But this is what this situation here with the collapsing of the wharf is something that is called contributory negligence. All of them have contributed to this. The leadership of City Hall and the corrupt vagabonds in central government. So now you're going to see, oh, Robeson Ben rushed down there as though he cares. Robeson Ben rushed down there. Oh, Robeson Ben is there. Does he care? No, he doesn't. He doesn't give a damn. But he's going to rush there now. He's going to rush there now, making it appear that he cares about the people. He doesn't. None of them. The ministers, they're going to run down there. They're going to shed crocodile tears. All sorts of things they're going to do. Do they care? No, they do not care. I hope the shadow minister of, I believe, infrastructure should be there too. The shadow minister of home affairs should be there too. The shadow minister of housing should be there too. Right there on the ground to observe, to watch what's happening there, and then give you guys a report. We don't want to hear from Robeson Ben. Look at that gentleman. Take a look. Take a look at this gentleman. Take a look. Take a look at what happened to that gentleman there. Right. You guys saw a big gap at the back of his head. Who cares? John C. Paul, I haven't agreed with John C. Paul in over 100 years, but I will do so right now. Good morning to you, John. John is saying people must sue the city council. Of course. Sue central government as well. Because, and here is where there's a bigger problem. Central government starves the city council, and by extension, starve the people of Georgetown. They owe the city of Georgetown hundreds of millions of dollars. Hundreds of millions of dollars. They do not pay. GPL owes City Hall hundreds of millions of dollars. Members of the private sector owe City Hall hundreds of millions of dollars, and they do not want to pay. But of course, yes, I understand the city is starved for cash. They're being strangulated by the central government, Irfan Ali and these guys who don't care about the people. But even though we already know that, you need strong leadership at City Hall to confront this corrupt and illegal regime. Are we seeing that at City Hall? No. But instead, those guys from the mayor and whoever the deputy mayor is, I don't know, majority of them sit like pussycats and do absolutely nothing. This eyesore should have been highlighted on a daily basis, reminding the citizens, reminding residents of Georgetown that this is just a trap and this is a tragedy waiting to happen. We're not seeing leadership for the vendors. We're not seeing leadership for Qatari illegal hotel deal. At the city level, we're just not seeing that leadership that ought to be seen. And if they continue like that, I don't know if it's a form of a diabolical conspiracy where some of them at the leadership level of City Hall are in bed with the installed PPP regime in order to uh, stifle the people of Georgetown. If that is so, that is not going to be, it is not a good reflection as we prepare for general and regional elections. It could affect the main party that is supposed to be in control of the city. And you guys know you guys know which main party controls the city of Georgetown. But then again, bad if you ask me to put a guy who doesn't care about the people of Georgetown as mayor. I don't know. Only last night we were talking about that. And then again, when we talk, people get vexed. People say, Ben Shab don't like this body, and Ben Shab don't like the body. As though I'm broadcasting here to like people and to love people. You know? So that's what we put leaders in there to love them. We don't put them in there to hold them accountable. We put them there to kiss them. We don't ask them to be transparent. We put them there to basically hug up them, run with them. Yeah. And then when you offer constructive criticism, guess what? The one Ben Sharp don't like this body, don't like the body. Why you don't carry little freckle face self, sir? Yeah. Look like he dog meat and all kind of things that just tell me by all kind of things when we trying to hold our leaders accountable. Shanette Alicia, good morning. You gone with they busy fighting Aubrey now. You see, Sam, you're gone with that now. The leadership level, when you're talking about Aubrey and these, all of them need to get their act together. Shanette, so don't come at who fighting Aubrey and who fight. Be tired of this crap. Every day is same thing. Those who fighting for leadership, oh, Aubrey is incompetent. Aubrey said to people, oh, they're fighting down Aubrey. I don't know why they're fighting down Aubrey. Father God, strike them. Right? So we see this kind of war. And it is basically using up our energy. Our energy is being sucked up as a result of the who fighting for leadership, who fighting against Aubrey. I don't know why they don't leave Aubrey alone. They're fighting Aubrey. Look. Y'all think I lie? Look at Shanette Alicia comment. Look, she said, Anissa, Forkan, peace. I hope I'm pronouncing the name right. They're busy fighting Aubrey. Oh, poor Aubrey. They're fighting Aubrey. Aubrey don't fight back nobody. He's such a peaceful man. Oh, we Aubrey, we love you, boy. Why they fighting Aubrey? Why? Let me call Aubrey right now and ask you why they fighting me. Oh, they're fighting Aubrey. Every day we seeing that. They're fighting Aubrey. Y'all think they're gonna win elections? Yeah? Y'all think this how y'all gonna win elections? But this side fighting, who fighting, who thief, CPU. Let me see if some of y'all know what CPU is. I know some of y'all bright, but y'all know what CPU is? The CPU at Congress Place missing. CPU gone. And then when the CPU gone, Aubrey side gonna say, somebody erase things. And then the other side gonna say, Aubrey side erase things. Is that how you guys intend to win the next elections? All parties, all within the PNC, the fighting faction, and if you want to call it so, all of them got to get their act together. All of them. It does. The membership of the PNC, no good. Nothing good when we see these sort of unnecessary nitpicking. They are issues that need to be dealt with. It should be dealt with and with expeditious, in an expeditious manner. It should be dealt with, guys. Y'all don't come on every time we're fighting. Oh, the fighting down Aubrey. Let me burn two garlic pon them. Let me burn two garlic pon Ben Shop. Make you can't come on. Make you can't come on the air because they're fighting Aubrey. I can tell y'all they can boil milk, they can burn garlic and all sorts of things. I'm not saying that Aubrey supporters burn garlic and milk. I know a lot of them. Some of them are my relatives. Some of them are blind followers. Like one of them, I ain't see come on yet. Y'all taggy Sean Anthony Ben. Right? And John, good morning. How are you doing? Hope all is well. Ah, gosh, let me see some of your. Oh, Matthew Dennison is a bright one. The CPU is missing. The CPU is missing. Somebody took the CPU out, didn't inform the general secretary. Ah, these are, I don't know what's going on, man. But look, if y'all now join, y'all are not seeing me because I don't want y'all to see my face this morning. So Matthew Dennison is saying CPU is the central processing unit. And John, you see, you got something there this morning. The CPU is the central processing unit. It is the brain of the computer. And that has gone missing. And then you're going to hear the accusation, who take out this, who wipe out this, who do this, who do that. I don't know. Like, I'm just sick and tired of this whole blame game, this back and forth thing. You know, and just get on with the Congress, get Congress going, and that's it. Get Congress going and just get the ball rolling. Ensure there's transparency, ensure there's real democracy and accountability, and just move on. That's it. So Anissa is saying, so does that mean Norton has the Granger list? I don't know what's the question you're asking, Anissa. Now, I have gone through this several times for you guys. There is a difference with the list, leader of the list. There's a difference. How many times we got to go through that? Let me drink some coconut water, man. Some say water coconut. Let me drink some. Chisel Chipper, how are you doing? Okay. The leader of the list, Aubrey cannot be leader of the list. The leader of the list would change at the next elections. Now, the leader of the list can change if, for example, something happens to Mr. Granger, and I'm not calling that to happen, and then the next person to become leader of the list is not Aubrey Norton. It is Kemraj Ramjatan. Well, if y'all want Kemraj Ramjatan be leader of the list, let's call Kemraj right now until he take over as leader of the list. Y'all try to understand the problems, the situation. I know emotions is raising, bumps raising. People want change. And we all do. We all want change. All of these people can play a role. Aubrey can play a role. Roysdale can play a role. Every single one of them, the general secretary can play a role. Lachman Aziz has a role to play. Civic has his role to play. Vashti has her role to play. Piri Piri, I know what role Piri Piri playing. But good morning, Piri Piri. Jackie Cameron has a role to play. George Tanner has a role to play. And John has some dancing to do, a role to play. Matthew Dennis, everybody has a role to play. That's all. Everyone has a role to play. Nobody's role is bigger or better. Some roles are bigger, yeah. But nobody is better than anybody. And y'all got to understand, even a small man, woman out there has a role to play. The vendors have a role to play. And they all got to feel included. You can't just keep attacking people, bullying people because they might have a different view from yours. And then when you bully them, cuss them out, you expect them to join you and to be with you. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Period. And you cannot have callers calling in and attacking another ethnic group. And I'm saying this here, you cannot, because it does no good for your party and the leadership of your party or the individual that you want to be the leader. In this case, they have a guy, y'all know him. He's probably about 104, hasn't gone back to Guyana in over 103 years. And I'm not saying that, people overseas. I'm not saying that because people are very touchy these days, right? But when he calls in on Kadaki's show, is every morning you got to hear the C word to address our Indian brothers and sisters. Them C word, them C by this C, yeah. It doesn't do any good for race relations in our country, and it doesn't do anything in terms of bringing all the races over at the next elections to say we all got a band we belly and we votes to get the PPP out of office. And anyone who calls into programs and talk dotishness, y'all know the individual I'm talking about. Me want a flashy name here, right? Every day is dotishness. It does nothing good for the party. Absolutely nothing good for the party, nothing good for the leadership either. You cannot win an elections with just one ethnic group. The PNC cannot do it. The PPP cannot do it. And therefore, you need all the votes. All the votes. So you cannot use derogatory words to describe another ethnic group. Because if somebody does it to that guy that sells puri in Manhattan, puri and sour, it's an honest business that calls in every morning with the same old dotish tune. Every morning is the same thing, just right. I'm not calling anybody's name, but y'all already get a flash as to what I'm talking about. We need the support. The opposition needs the support of every ethnic group in Guyana to pull this off.
Yeah, my name is Jasmine Caldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965, I become a voter, and I always place my X next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data. I have none.
Now, when you get somebody calling and insulting our Indian brothers and sisters every morning, what do you think? What do you think that's going to do for race relations? One, and do you think our Indian brothers and sisters may want to go closer to a party that has somebody like, and I'm not going to call that individual's name. Like I said, no sense we flash it across the screen here. They're not going to do it. They're going to be turned off, completely turned off, right? Chisel Chipper 68 and Ann John and others. But look, I notice George Tanner is saying, Mark, stop fantasizing. The majority of Indians would never vote for PNC. Did I say that? Am I fantasizing about that? Am I? George, can you reread exactly what you just wrote there? Can somebody read it, Chisel Chipper? You guys bright bad. Y'all went to high school. Sital, you're bright bad. And John, Donna Joseph, and all y'all. Y'all read what George said it. Read what George Tanner said it. And y'all tell me if it makes sense. George Tanner, and again, we're having a conversation, right? No insult to words. George has been on this show for a while. George Tanner is saying, Mark, stop fantasizing. The majority of Indians would never vote for the PNC. Did I say you've got to be not you, George, but someone has got to be foolish to think that the majority that of Indians will rush over and vote for the PNC, or the majority of persons of African descent will rush over and vote for PPP. Is that what we're saying? I don't think that that's what I'm saying here. I'm going to repeat what I said, that no, none of the two major political parties, none of the two, including the only third party in Guyana, which is the Alliance for Change. The Alliance for Change is the only third party. There's no other third party. There are other small parties, but you become a third party when you are in parliament, when you're elected and you're in parliament, and you're officially the third party. And that's what it is. So we got to be realistic about these things, right? But let's go back to George Tanner. I did say that the PNC cannot win elections with just African persons voting for them. And the PPP cannot win an elections with just persons of East Indian ancestry voting for them. It's not going to happen. Both parties need crossover votes. And so whatever, forget about the PPP. They basically throw little crumbs, hot dogs, and expect people to support them. That's how disrespectful they are. But as an opposition, if they want to get crossover votes, whether those who are sitting on the fence, the undecided voters, the independent voters, and even supporters of the PPP who have traditionally voted for the PPP as a result of race, in order to get these voters to come over on your side, you cannot have people calling in on programs and dissing those folks of other ethnic groups. They cannot be dissed. Call them. You can criticize constructively, but you cannot call them. Use the C word. Y'all know the C word I'm talking about. Y'all know the C word I'm talking about. Because if somebody comes on this program and call y'all the N word, of course I'm not going to tolerate that here. But if the other side call y'all the N word, y'all gonna get vexed. Y'all gonna get vexed. One of them who was hungry, calling people hungry belly, and that is persons of African descent. Everybody jump up on the mountain top. Oh God, no, we ain't hungry. We eat cook-up, we eat plantain chips, and we eat mitai. How could we be hungry? Y'all be careful, guys. Y'all be careful. Some of y'all might be sucking y'all teeth. But we need everyone. Every vote counts. Every single vote counts. And I'm sure the one was calling every morning, Punkadaki show, every morning like he don't sleep. Or he just get up early, cookie puri, get ready to go in Manhattan and sell it with the sour. But he ain't gonna make sour because you just got to take the puri and touch your hand and that's it and get sour. And so those are the people who are not going to vote. I am sure that he hasn't voted probably in decades in Guyana. And he didn't care. He didn't care what he said. He didn't care what he said. Again, I'm not going to flash anybody's name on this show. Let me see some of your comments. George Tanner is saying that we're running from reality. What is the reality, George? You just said most East Indians wouldn't vote. Nobody expect that to be a reality. So what are we running from? Come on, George. You can do better, man. Oh, George. Don't do that, man. So let me see what Wanda's saying here now. Wanda London is saying those of us who live in America need to discuss something that worries us here too. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Other nationalities do it. The Somalians do it. The Nigerians do it. The Jews do it. Those who are back in Israel, they do it. Nigerians do it. The Ghanaians do it. So why can't Guyanese do it? Guyanese, wherever you are, you've got to be concerned. Nobody's saying nay. You've got to be concerned. You've just got to be concerned. Fair enough. All right, let me see what some of your comments here. Vashti is saying, speak with some sort of education. Y'all know Vashni. Vashni is my friend. Vashni would never talk to me like that. Never. So Vashni, let them know who you're addressing. Neville Sital, what's going on, my friend? Neville Sital, known as Civic. Neville Sital, known as Civic. Can't go wrong with Civic. Civic is of East Indian ancestry, and he's been my brother for almost 30 years. Civic, good morning to you, my friend. Many of them should know what you, as a person of East Indian ancestry, what you and your entire family went through under the corrupt PPP regime. And look at what this lady, this brave lady, Auntie Data, look at what she's going through.
Yeah, my name is Jacinty Caldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my ex next to the cop. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
And Auntie Data is correct, because Auntie Data said what she had to, and we have been on, and I say we because you guys are all part of this program. We have been carrying Auntie Data. We have been featuring Auntie Data every single night. There's not a single night. There's not a night that Auntie Data's video is not being played to remind people as to how vicious and how vindictive the PPP regime is. Every night. And you know what they do? They're going after her now. They're targeting Auntie Data. And you know what Auntie Data is doing? She's standing up. She's fighting back. She didn't surrender. She didn't put her hands up. She didn't run from them. She didn't run from the police or anything. She didn't walk away. She stood up. She stood her grounds. Bravery. That's what you call it. Bravery. Bravery. Again, she didn't walk on a little protest and run away from police. And no, she's a brave woman. We've got to love her. Love her for her bravery. She's standing her grounds. When she first came out, there were some folks saying, oh, no, she only saying this for now. But when she go in the voting booth, she gonna vote. No. Y'all got to respect. Y'all have to respect what's happening. Y'all got to respect what's happening. Vashti Megnat is asking me to guess her ethnicity. Look, Vashti, I am not going to guess anybody's ethnicity. I ain't gonna do that. Because the last time I was at, or there was a time at Timeri Airport when I was escorting some young people to go out of Guyana, athletes that is. And I had all of their passports just to assist them because I took them there with some other vehicles. And I had all of their passports. And I'm calling their names now to uplift back their passports. And I'm calling the names and Prasad. I can't remember the young man's first name, but Prasad. And I'm calling Prasad. And then there's this youngster. Of course, he looks mostly African. And I'm like, Prasad. So he walks up, he said, Mr. Bishop, I am Prasad. It was an eye-opener because I've seen situations like that. To the point I'm making, I stop if I don't know somebody personally, or if I speak with them on the phone, I stop judging. I stop in terms of guessing their ethnicity. I stop it. So Vashti, I'm not going to guess your ethnicity. But what I do know, I can guess your nationality. You know, I can assume that you're Guyanese. You could be from Suriname. But your first name and your last name would suggest to me that maybe you could be 100% of East Indian ancestry, or at least 95%, or you could be a Douglas. It's not like Douglas is an ethnicity, but you could be a Douglas. And I think I want to put all my money right now in my pocket, $15.37, that Vashti Megnat is a Douglas. Good morning to all of you guys. My name is Mark Benshaw. Neville Sital is saying, anti-data, my kind, freedom fighter. Of course, Neville Sital, fighter, fighter. Good morning to all, every single one of you. Patricia King is saying, standing up for her rights. Of course, way to go, anti-data. Candy Nalini Inderjeet just got up, probably just got up or just took some time off from work or something to say hello, Mark. Good morning. Well, good morning to you too. Good morning to all of you. Now, we're going to divert just a little bit. Let me know where you're listening to us, where you are right now. We know Anjan, there's some way on the people's Wi-Fi. Where are you guys at right now? Let us know. Camille Cox, how are you doing? Camille Cox says she loves some anti-data. Yeah. Camille Cox loves some anti-data. Vashni from Waterloo, Canada. Wanda London says she in Flatbush, New York. Where exactly? Are you like Cortelio Road? Are you Beverly Road, Albemarle, Snyder? Where are you? I'm not saying you should give us your address. Colleen Isaacs is in Toronto. Delon Carew is in Connecticut. If you are in Connecticut, he has a boxing gym. Go out, check him. Delon Carew is one of our champions, boxing champs. Congrats again, and thank you for representing Guyana. Delon Carew. Camille Cox is still in her bed. She was up since 4 o'clock. Okay, yeah, okay. Thanks for letting us know where you are. Nadia Zitman. Hi, Nadia. How are you? Nadia Zitman is in Tucker, Georgia. Heather Melini, is it? Gilhouse is in Atlanta. Okay. Ann John is watching from her basement. Well, of course, we all expected that from Ann John. We couldn't expect you to be in the attic. You got to be in a basement. You sound like a basement. There's a little bit of humor. I noticed Wayne Caesar is up and about. Wayne Caesar is saying that he's in his office at home in New York City. Good morning, Mark, and all the freedom fighters. Yeah, good morning to you, Wayne. Neville Kisoon, where are you? But then again, let's head back to the collapse of the Wharf. The Wharf, the Georgetown Stabroek Market Wharf collapsed earlier, and it's unfortunate that we saw this coming. Now let's go to a letter of termination. The senior building inspector was terminated. His name is Marlon Harris, termination of employment. And this letter dated the 12th of April 2024. Please be advised that the local government commission, blah, 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 stacked with a bunch of PPP folks on it. One of those PPP individuals happened to be a couple of them allegations of corruption and all manner of things. You get 2 PPP former local government ministers on that commission. You get Carol Sober. Y'all remember Carol Sober? She's on that commission. Another guy who was charged for, millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. He's on that commission as well. So they have fired. I repeat, they have fired the city building inspector, Marlon Harris. Fired. But they can't fire the city inspector, the city engineer. They can't fire him. Maybe because he has his connection. Maybe because he has his connection to the PPP. Who knows? All right. Before we go, though, what else you guys want us to discuss? Before we go, we just have a couple minutes remaining. What else do you guys want us to discuss? Because I've got to go. You guys know I babysit. I'm a babysitter. Which other man out there would accept that they're a babysitter? You think Neville Sita? Neville loves his grandkids and so he's a babysitter too. Neville Kisoon, he has a set of kids all over the place. He's a babysitter too. Let me see who else is a babysitter. Dylan Carew is a babysitter. Who else? We don't know Piri Piri if Piri Piri is a man or a girl. We don't know. But Piri Piri could be a babysitter too. Let me see who else is a babysitter. Chisel Chipepler, I don't know. Yeah, babysitter. George Tanner, nah. George Tanner look like he ain't babysitting nobody. He get time with a babysitting business. All right, so what else we can talk about quickly before we go? Anything pressing on your mind other than the Stabroek Market Wharf that collapsed about 45 minutes or an hour ago? Anything else you guys want us to discuss? Let's go. Let's discuss it. Somebody's saying the PPP is blight. That's true. Energy. The PPP is blight indeed. You know, when I listen to Auntie Data's story, you know whose story comes to mind? The way they treated the Aziz family. Those people, I believe, are Bushlot, West Coast Borbies, that got their butcher shop firebomb. Yeah. Auntie Data has got to be careful. And the Aziz family, they're here almost every single night. Every single night. They're East Indian ancestry. Every single night. How do you think they feel when others describe persons of their own ethnic group as the C word, and the C word, and the C, and you can't trust a C, and you can't trust this? How do you think folks like Sital, Neville, and them feel? How do you think the Aziz feel? How do you think Auntie Data feels if she, or when she, because she knows that her tape is being played every night, sorry, right here? How do you think they feel, guys? So y'all don't tolerate those other people. Don't tolerate the one that calls in on Kadaki show every morning with dotishness. Don't tolerate. You could tell that they don't even know what he's talking about. I don't even know why Kadaki tolerate the nonsense every morning, but it's Kadaki show. Kadaki has a right to tolerate whoever he wants to tolerate, or some people say tolerate, or country people say tolerate, right? You know, we've got to be careful. We've got to be extra careful, right? So one day saying, Mark, please set a night for us to talk about issues that are affecting us in America. Oh, Father Jehovah. I mean, I got set more than a night because y'all got talk and talk and talk. Somebody wants to talk, Piri wants to talk about the cowardly leadership in Guyana. Well, we all know. Do we really have leadership in Guyana? Do we really? It's going to take a long time to talk about that. A long, long time to talk about that. All right, guys, I've got to go. Got some work to do. And we just want to thank all of you, every single one of you. Don't forget, let me give these people at the uniform store a quick plug on Church Avenue. The uniform store on Church Avenue, if you want to be a nurse. If Gavin is watching, Gavin, if you want to be a nurse or anybody else other than Gavin, you want to be a nurse, Wayne Caesar, I don't know. Wayne, if you want to do a part-time nurse thing, because I wouldn't even mind becoming a nurse. I'll go straight to the uniform store and buy my nurse uniform. And for those of you who have school kids, they also sell school uniforms there. So all the nurses, and go out there if you're in Brooklyn, wherever, check the store out. Right there on Church Avenue. And if you are in Guyana, you can check out Sineta London, interior decorator and event planner. Give her a call and support the business. She is the wife of Apostle London. So go out there and support the business. Support it. And so those of you who also probably want your citizenship, of course, you can call me anytime of the day for your citizenship application. And this year, now is the best time to do it. Since it's an elections year, there are persons who have gotten their appointment within a month for citizenship. Within a month, 2 months, 3 months, the most. So give me a call if you need an adjustment of status for your, if you want to remain and you have a petition, or you're married to a U.S. citizen and you want to file your I-130, you want to file for adjustment of status, just give me a call. My number is right there. You can't miss it. 917-714-1082. And here we go. We thank all of you, every single one of you. Somebody's asking Church Avenue and what street. I assume you're talking about this business. It's on Church Avenue, 5606 Church Avenue. So it's, of course, 56th Street. It's between 56 and 57th Street, somewhere there. So it's 5606 Church Avenue. You can't miss it. All right, for now, I'm out of here. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Camille Cox is saying, pin my number. It's there. They can inbox me. My number is 917-714-1082. 917-714-1082. I'm out of here. I'll be back later on this evening, providing I don't fall asleep. Lachman Aziz is in her basement. All right, guys, it's always a pleasure. And, you know, sometimes even with the seriousness in Guyana, we add a little bit of humor. There's no malice at all. I know this is a democratic forum. We agree to disagree, but as long as we keep it in the respectful realm and respectful exchanges of our views. All right, and we pray for those people at the Stabroek Market Wharf who have been injured, and let's hope that there are not many people who are injured and that they're not badly injured. Until then, see you guys this evening. So long.
Hey fans, it's karaoke and oldies night this and every Thursday at Club Twilight Sideline Dam, Buxton. Dance to the magical songs of yesteryear by popular DJs and Camps Audio. Admission is free. Come out, let's make memories at Club Twilight Sideline Dam, Buxton North.
Yeah, my name is Jacinty Caldata, Francis C. Vietnam, and since 1965, I become a voter. And I always place my X next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data. I have none.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.